Good morning, everyone. As you know, my name is Hleziphi Pai. I'm a personal librarian for the college, as it has been stated, but I'm also responsible for other subject areas in the department of, in the College of Human Sciences, Information Science and Communication Science, History and Politics. So my brief this morning is to take you through our reference management tools, which are RefWorks and EndNote. And I must state clearly that we have decided to cancel our subscription to an institutional Mendeley. Those of you who haven't registered for any of these tools, you can now use a free Mendeley, which is not going to be supported anymore. Unfortunately, we had to get rid of, we had to cancel Mendeley because of the expenses, but we are now going to support RefWorks. Those of you who used to have a Mendeley account, when I go on live, I'm going to show you how you can move your library from Mendeley, of references from Mendeley, into your new RefWorks account. We are subscribing to a full institutional EndNote subscription, but this will only be rolled out to the sciences. So with a number that is kept, and we're not sure whether we will roll it out to other colleges. So I would actually advise everyone to go and register an account with RefWorks, which we are now going to support fully. And those of you who still want to use Mendeley can continue doing so, but it will be a free software with a lesser space, with no support from us, which it has, it's going to be a free software, which, you know, it's normally going, it's not going to benefit, but you can keep that account if you so wish. So what I'm going to do this morning is to go through the RefWorks, the registration process, and I'll touch a little bit. I'm not going to touch on EndNote because it's a newly subscribed database. We are going to start training later this year, as soon as our subscription is fully operational. And then I'll show you a bit on Mendeley, which used to be part of this training, for those of you who want to go for a free one. And I'll go and demonstrate how you're going to now use these tools, a free Mendeley, a subscription on RefWorks, and also on EndNote, where you're going to now go and search from your either library guides or from our A to Z list or from our catalog or from our summons, where you will search using both our catalog and some of our subscribed databases and export any of your references to these tools. I'm going to touch on Google Scholar settings. As much as we promote our databases, but we allow you to use Google Scholar. I'll show you how you're going to set the settings there so that when you search on Google Scholar, you are able to export some of your references to RefWorks. And then I'll demonstrate RefWorks as a tool. But first, I just want to pause here and let you know that there are certain different styles that are used by different departments and colleges. Some of these are sort of standard, like your Harvard your APA and your MLA for the language, people, and linguistics. But some of the departments actually have their own styles compiled in guidelines. For instance, in information science, there is a guideline, which is a PDF document, which is compiled by the department. And some of the departments are actually working on having their styles of referencing embedded into the RefWorks platform. It's possible. I know SAMS has their own style embedded onto RefWorks. So I would urge all of you who are attending this to check with your department what style of referencing it's used, because each and every discipline has its own referencing style. This is the library's homepage. Where do you find RefWorks? EndNote, which will be rolled out at a later stage. This is where you go under the library guides. It's either through your library guides. When you go, you know now by now that all of you have a library guide. If you click on the library guides link, it will take you to an A to Z list of all the library guides that we have at this institution. You can either go to your own library guide under referencing. You'll see there will be these tools, and then you go and open RefWorks and go and register there. But for today, I would want you to go through this one, the link to the library guides, which will take you to a list of all the guides, but I would want you to open the Reference Management Tools Guide. This is where you'll find all the tools that we subscribe to. Later on, Mendeley is going to be taken out because now you can use, excuse me, a free software to use Mendeley. This is where now you're going to go to either your RefWorks, or you want to choose EndNote for those that are in the sciences. If you click on this, you go to RefWorks and then you log in, or you go to, you log in on RefWorks and then you create an account. And please, if you do create accounts on these two, your Mendeley, your RefWorks and your EndNote for the sciences people, you must use your institutional logins. You must log in with your MyUNISA credentials, which is your password that you use on MyUNISA. Your email address that you use on MyUNISA. The password can be any other password. So if you go through your library guide under referencing, this is where you're going to click on references, and then you'll find all of this. Then you either go to RefWorks, and as soon as we have subscribed to the EndNote, the sciences will go for the EndNote. So this is an old one. This is a Mendeley one, which I'm going to skip for now because you're going to go through to your a new portal altogether, because it won't appear on our system. It will be taken off because we are not subscribing to it anymore. But if you go to if you click on that library guide on RefWorks, this is where you come, where you have to go now and register or create an account. And RefWorks has got these very nice short clips of videos where they will take you through on how you can do the following. If you click on any of this, it will show you how you can create an account, and it allows you to drag and drop your PDFs, because I know most students will like to download a lot of PDFs and plug them on their desktops. So you can drag and drop those PDFs into your RefWorks account. It will allow you to do that. And then when you get into RefWorks, if you want to create folders, it will also give you a snippet on how you're going to do that. And there's a very nice short one on how you now, an introduction to RefWorks. What is it all about and how does it work and what you can do with it. But first you have to create an account. It will open on this page where you go and create an account if you don't have an account, and you can sign in. Those of you who used to have a RefWorks account, which was called a legacy RefWorks, remember it used to be, this yellow and black RefWorks. You will have an open screen where it gives you an old RefWorks and this new one, the new version by ProQuest. So it will ask you a question whether you want to transit into the new one. Please click that you want to go through to the new one. It's going to transcribe all your references from the legacy platform to this new version of RefWorks. So once you are in, it will welcome you as I've already logged in. It tells you this is my library, and it gives you all your references will appear here. And unfortunately, it works as on an online environment. You don't have a desktop version of this like you used to with Mendeley. So you have to always work online. It's a similar system. So your last imported references will appear at the top of your list. And then you can also, if you have used, let's say you have used EBSCO and you use ProQuest and you've exported your references, you can clean your duplicates. It allows you to get rid of some of your duplicated items, and it allows you to share. If you are working on a project, especially if you're a PhD student, or if you are an academic and you work amongst a group of colleagues, you can share references, you can share some of your folders for certain projects, and it allows you to create folders for particular references. For instance, if you're working on chapter 1, which is your literature review, or you're working on chapter 2, which is mainly your methodology stuff, you can create folders here and keep your references separately. So what it does, it allows you to create folders, and you can add any of the references manually. For instance, if you have a book that you didn't export from anywhere, a book title, or you have a list of books that you have on your workings, you can add them manually. So when we go live, I'll show you how you're going to do that. And it allows you to create a bibliography as well. But what is also nice with RefWorks, it also allows you to create a bibliography per chapter of what you submit. So it does it automatically for you, but first you have to choose a style of reference. Remember, you have to stick to one style. You can't choose a style of referencing for chapter 1 and go to chapter 2 and choose another style. You stick to one style of referencing. So that is why it's actually crucial before you select a style of your choice, when you send these references here, to consult your departments or your supervisors and ask what is their preferred referencing style. Okay, so I've already explained this, that you can you'll see your last imported references. You can get rid of the duplicates. You can create folders. When you click on that add button, you can upload any documents from anywhere, or you can drag and drop some of the documents as you saw on that landing page of RefWorks. It allows you to drag and drop documents from wherever you have saved them, or you can upload them, but you can also import your references from Mendeley. So those of you who had Mendeley accounts, if you want to transit into RefWorks, you can do that. You can open your Mendeley account, and then you can you can create an account with RefWorks, and then click on this import. It will give you the steps on how you're going to now go and import some of the references from Mendeley. I'm not going to do that here. If you want assistance with that, please contact your personal librarians, and I'm sure by now all of you know who your personal librarians are. So those are the people that will assist with you taking over, transiting all your references from Mendeley and putting them here, because this is what we're going to support from now going forward. And if you want to create a new reference, like I said, if you have a book title which you couldn't import or export from anywhere, you can, when you click on this create a new reference, when we go live, I'll show you, it gives you a form. If it's an article, or if it's a conference proceeding, or if it's a document or a report that you read and you want to put it in this library of yours, you can do it manually. You can add it manually. They will give you a form where you can complete and then save it. And I must also add that whatever you import or export into this library of yours, most of them will come with a PDF document. So it also brings the full text into this library. So you don't have to worry that it's only going to keep your citations. It also keeps links to PDF documents. On RefWorks, after you've created an account, so there are certain things that you should do. You go to tools. In tools, we have what we used to call right-hand side, and also, but because most people use Windows 10, your right-hand side, which is your reference citation manager, you have to upload that first. You have to sort of download that. But with people that are using the current Word citation manager, it's embedded into your Word document. But those people who are still using an old Microsoft Word, you have to download the right-hand side. It will tell you which version you should download so that it allows you to work with your citations when you do your write-up. I'll show you when we go live. And besides those other downloads, you also have to download what we call a save to RefWorks a tool site, so that it allows you, when you are on your Google Scholar platform, when you are working, you are able to click on the Save to Tools, where it will bring all your references like we used to have on Mendeley. It brings all your references so that you can select which ones you want to export to your library. Okay, so how do you build this library of references now that you have created this account with RefWorks? You go and search in any of the databases. Under your library guide, you have subject databases. You do a brief search. This one is for information science or library sciences, theories or models or framework. You limit according to your preferences. You know now the mantra. You limit according to your peer review, your language, and if you have dates as well, you can do that. And then you go through all of this. You change this into title, or you stick to a subject search or a keyword search. When you're happy with your limiters and you're limiting according to title and subject terms, you start adding stuff into your folder. And then once you're satisfied with the list of references that you have, and then you're sure that these are the ones that are going to answer your research question, you either go at the top there and open your folder, or you just click on the folder view. And most of our databases, almost all of them, have a direct export. They will have an export function. So instead of us now sending all of this to our emails like we did previously, we're going to now export this directly to our reference management tool, which is RefWorks. And then you export to RefWorks, you click on export, and then it directly, the default will be this. Remember the other time when we still subscribed to Mendeley, we used to change to this, but now once you have the RefWorks account, the default is always on RefWorks. You just click on save. And then when you click on save, it directly goes into your reference management tool account, which is RefWorks. And then your last imported ones will be at the top of your list. So if you want to put this into all of these into a certain folder, which you can now open your folders, you just click, you select all of them, and then you place them into a folder of your choice, or you just leave them in your library in a general thing. Okay. So RefWorks has also some help guides. Besides the videos, the nice little clips, there's also a library guide where it will take you through the steps of how you can help yourself. But remember, I told you, if you do get stuck, let your librarian know. Send them an email. You know where to find their emails. Drop an email and tell them, I'm battling with the following. Can you please take me on a one-on-one? Whatever you want to ask, you're welcome. Okay, so on the library's homepage, we subscribe to what we call Summon, which is it's an integration of a search platform where it searches databases plus our library catalog. Remember, when you want to search the catalog, you have to just go here where you just search our print books and some of our ebooks that we have linked. And for your library guides, you'll go here. But when you use this upper search prompt, this is when now you're searching from summons. So you can go and search for summons, which will give you ebooks, articles, reports, conference proceedings. So this is a multidisciplinary and multi-format searching where you search almost everything, not using databases only, which will give you articles, or maybe the catalog where it will sort of give you print books and some of the ebooks that we have linked. So when you search here, like I'm now searching a research methodology stuff in my discipline, which is information science. When I search on summons will allow you to export some of your references to your RefWorks. The default also there, it's on RefWorks. So if you do a search like this and you get your results, you have done all your limiters, and then all what you have selected will sit up here in a sort of like a folder format. I've selected about 5 items. When I click on those, when I open them, the default here, you have to go and open what is in that folder, and then you go export to. It allows you to export to RefWorks. And then the science people will actually export to EndNote as soon as the licensing has been finalized. So when you click on that export to RefWorks, it asks you, do you want to import this? If I wanted to send these 5 items from summons into a folder, I will assign the name of the folder. I can use this drop-down menu and say, send all these 5 into this particular folder that I have already created. But I just want to send it as is. Then I click on import, and then there they are. They appear at the top of the list of my last imported references. Okay. You can ask questions when we're done with this, because I'm going to go live. I'm just explaining things as we go along. When you open your Google Scholar search, on your left-hand side at the top there are these 3 lines. When you click on that, it opens all of this. If you click on settings, remember I said I want to show you how you're going to do the settings so that when you search on Google Scholar, you are able to export your references into your RefWorks account. If I click there under settings, it opens a page like this. Initially, we used to go and do a reference management thing because it used to be Mendeley, but now we're going to click on this, show the links to import citations, and then you click on RefWorks, and then you save. So meaning that any search you do when you are online at that particular time, you are able to import some of these stuff to your RefWorks library citations. So you must do these settings. You click here, and then you click on RefWorks, and then you save. Okay, so it will give you something like this, but this, it used to be Mendeley. So here, import to RefWorks will appear. Now you are able to you send those references to your RefWorks. Once you have managed to do your save to RefWorks, I'll show you where it appears on your timeline. I'm working from campus now, but I know there are people who are saying it's working. Your save to RefWorks will allow you to select references when you do a search, where you can mark several of them. But if it's not working, you have to go and do the settings, select RefWorks, so that when you import, you will have to do it one by one if your save to RefWorks is not working. So secondly, on the same lines there at the top, you can now go and change your library links. It's so frustrating when you do a search on Google Scholar and then you realize that there's an article or there's a source that you desperately need for your research, but it says you have to pay for it. So for you to not get things that your library does not subscribe to, you need to go and do your library link setting and just see University of South Africa or UNISA library in brackets. It will give you all these options. Then you tick, and then you save. So that when you go and do a search, it only brings references or items that your institution subscribe to. So you can see that we subscribe to the first one after I've done the same search on research methods in my discipline. I've got articles that I would like to use, and they tell me I've got access to a PDF of this particular book. We do subscribe to this one. It's an ebook. This one is from Emerald. It's a database that we subscribe to. This is Science Direct. We also subscribe to this. So if you have done a search like this, you can either do a search on methodology stuff on Google Scholar and create an alert so that when another new item on this particular topic is made available, Google Scholar will let you know. They'll send you an alert. When you click on that, they'll tell you whether you want us to alert you via your email or via another mechanism. So you just put all your details there. As soon as an article that speaks to research methods in my own discipline, which is information science, if there's a new publication, I would be alerted to that so that I can go again and see who else has published this particular article on my topic. So it keeps you abreast with your topic of interest so that you can see what is coming up on a yearly basis. So you can do your settings, your library settings, and only get to things that you subscribe to. For instance, that second book, Research Methods in Library and Information Science, we don't subscribe to, we don't have an ebook on this one. So I don't have a link to any of this. As much as it is relevant to what I'm doing, but I can't get this item because my library doesn't. I'm going to start with going through to the library guide for reference management tool, but you can go through your own guide and click on RefWorks to go and create an account. I just want to show you how it looks like under these guidelines. I mean, under these library guides, you click on the reference management tools library guide and you go to RefWorks. And those of you who don't have an account will have to go and create one here. On this link, you click here to create an account. It will ask you who you are. Use your university credentials because these are subscribed databases and we pay. So I'm going to log into my account so that you can see how my library looks like and how your library will look like once you have created an account and started populating, exporting some of the references. First of all, I want to show you that you can get rid of duplicates. If there are any duplicates in this database, you just have to click here and then I'll say find duplicates. And then it will tell me there are no duplicates because I've already cleaned the database. But if there are duplicates, it will give you a list of duplicates and then you just select what you don't want duplicated, because it's nice to have a clean list of references so that when you go to your RefWorks citation manager and you start doing your in-text citations, you don't end up with double articles, by the same author. So it's actually key that you keep this clean, get rid of the duplicates so that when you go and do your in-text citation and when you create the bibliography, when you're done there, you don't have duplicates of references. Okay. So this is how you're going to look at your duplicates. And then what is nice with RefWorks, you can share a folder with, if you are a supervisor, you can share a folder of references with some of your students. But of course, they should also have RefWorks. So you can choose a folder that you want to share. I've got a folder here, which I've already selected. And then you can invite anyone within your organization. So it should be your either people who are within UNISA or people who are studying in the same institution, because otherwise it will be locked, so they can just see and not use. So if you're sending this to some colleagues for a project that you're doing, you will allow them to see the folder and be able to use some of the links inside that folder. So you can also invite more people to share, but you can decide whether you want them to just can read the items, or you just want them to read and annotate, or just to modify. If it's a document that you guys are working on and you've shared it with your peers, and you want them to do things, you know, make annotations, add stuff, it's up to you to decide if you're sharing that. So it allows for sharing, and it allows for you to create folders. So all of these are some of my folders. I've got about 139 items in this library of mine, so I can break them into different folders, and each folder will let you know how many references are in that particular folder. So for those of you who are submitting chapters, you can either create folders for each chapter of your references that you want to submit, and you know at the end you'll create the entire bibliography at once. So you can also create folders within that. What you can also do is to export some of or import some of your references from Mendeley. You can report and import from Mendeley. You can go on your Mendeley account, or you can click here and say you want to take all the references that you use to have on Mendeley to this RefWorks account. I'm not going to do that because it will take a while. What you can also do under that add, you can, remember said you can upload documents from wherever they are saved, or you can drag and drop some of your PDFs wherever they are lying into this library. But you can also create a new reference. If you have a book, or you've used print books and you couldn't export them as RIS files, you can create, it gives you a form like this here. If it was any of this, you just give it a name. It's a book, or it's an edited collection, or it's a book section or a chapter. You can add it here, and you decide which is which, and then you complete the entire form, and then you add more fields if you want to, and then you save it, and then it becomes part of your library. Okay, I talked about share. You can share folders or any of the things that you want to share from here. If you want to go, but I think first, before you do all of this, you must go and choose the citation style under that bibliography. You have to go now and decide. There are so many styles here, but you can just type in, let's say I want APA. It will bring all the versions of the APA. So if you use the American Psychological Association citation style, please find out from your department or your supervisor which is the style that you can decide to select from this list. In some instances, there are styles that are embedded here. I'm going to show you the SAMS one, which is available for the College of Economic Management Sciences students. It's also embedded here. So what is nice with creation of a bibliography, remember you've exported all of this. For instance, if I want to take a folder of my choice, and this is what I want to submit for my work, for my next work, I just click here and say to the system, just create a bibliography for me. And then I copy this into whatever I want to submit. So it does it for you automatically from your style of preference. Sorry about that. So if I wanted to change this from Harvard, the British Standard, because there are variant styles, I can do it here by changing this, by selecting another style or going, sorry about that, going to some of the styles. You see, there's a SAMS one, which is, it's an institutional one. It means it's a UNISA one. There's another one. They've got an APA one. They've got Harvard, meaning that in SAMS, there are departments that are using APA. There are certain ones that are using Harvard. So they've created their own. So it allows you to change styles as you go along. But I think it's best for you to find out first. So when you choose a style here, it will allow you, when you do your right-hand side with your documents on your MS Word, then you are able to stick to one style. So once you've chosen a style here, when you go and do your write-up, it will be a similar style. If you're using APA, it has to be APA when you do your write-up. If it's Harvard, it has to be Harvard because when you create that bibliography, it will be in that particular referencing style. So it's key that you choose one style and go with it throughout. Okay, so remember I told you that under tools, you have to, if you're using the latest version of RefWorks Citation Manager, you don't have to do to install the right-hand side. But if you use an older version, you have to go and install the right-hand side, which will tell you which version you have to install, so that when you do your writing, it has that right-hand side installed on your MS Word. But if you're using the Windows 10 like we are on campus, it comes with the software as well. So it's already there. So you don't have to install it, it's already there. But another thing that I want you to install is this install to save to RefWorks. I'm not sure whether some of you had Mendeley accounts. In Mendeley, we used to have it's something like this. You put it on your internet timeline so that when you work on any of the websites, any sites that you work, you are able to import. It used to be called Mendeley Web Importer, but on RefWorks you have to install this save to RefWorks. It's this one. It sits on any of, whether you're using Mozilla or Edge or Chrome, it sits here so that when you work on any platform on the internet, you are able to save your references, send them to your RefWorks account. It works similarly like the old Mendeley one. So if you click on that install, you just have to drag and drop it. You just do this, but mine is already there. You drag it and drop it to your service provider, whether it's your Chrome or your Edge or Mozilla, any of the platforms that you're working on. Okay. So if you don't have the latest RefWorks Citation Manager, you have to install also this right-hand side. It will tell you the version that you have to install. I think I'm fine here. What I'm going to do now is to open a Google Scholar page so that I can show you how you're going to do a search on Google Scholar or do the settings. Before you do any search, you go here, these 3 lines, and you go and do your settings, and you say show links to import citations, and you click here to say I want to import to RefWorks, and then you save this. So any of the searches that I'm going to do, you will see research methods and information science. my discipline. I'm going to search. There you are. Because I've already set this into my library, my links are already here. Remember, you also have to do your library links, and then you save this so that anything that comes here, you are able to see that most of the stuff that I'm searching, my library subscribed to. Once you've changed your library links into the University of South Africa in small caps and then UNISA library at the end. It gives me references that I have full access to, and some of them I don't, but it also allows me to import to RefWorks at the same time. I'm not going to use the save to RefWorks because my one, there's something wrong on campus here. It's not working. But if you had save to RefWorks, you will see it will bring your RefWorks in the middle of your search screen, and it allows you to mark all of them before you can send them to your RefWorks. The save, it works in the same way like your web importer. But my one is currently not working, so I'm not going to demonstrate that. I'm demonstrating this one-on-one importing. So if I wanted to send that article that I want to a folder, I would put a folder here, or I'll just say, just import that one to any of my, let it become part of my library. And then I just go to my last imported one. And then there it is, it appears at the top of the list. So if now I want to look at this reference, I'll click on it, and then it will come with the full text. It will give me a link to that full text that I can now either read it online, make notes, or download it from somewhere. So I can go to the full text of this particular article and read it there. Where is it? Oh yeah, I think I chose the wrong one. If I go back to my Google Scholar and I say I want this one, because I see there's a PDF, and I import it, and I go to my last imported reference, then I open it. Either it gives me a find a full text where I will find it online. It only exports the citation. It's a ProQuest. Remember, if I do this, it always wants you to log in with your credentials, because all of these are paid up databases. They just want to find out if you are the right person using this, whether you are legitimately registered with us. So you just authenticate yourself. You know that you're using your student number and your MyUNISA. Sorry about that. What? Something is not right because of this 306 link. But it would supposed to send you to a full text article. Let me just see if I can get through another one of my. Okay, there's something wrong because it gives me this 306 link. If you get things like this, please drop an email to your personal librarian so that we can check what the problem could be. Okay. I think this is where I'm going to end. Unless there are questions, let's entertain the questions for now.